Another shift, another adventure became my motto. Venturing inside at 11:40 p.m. after a drive to the diner, a couple things went through my mind. Something isn't adding up, and it's affecting more than the diner. I drove about 120 miles yesterday and only went to a single gas station. Shouldn't I be out of gas? By now, I circled in my thoughts. A quick cup of coffee and preparing my equipment for this shift. I reread the rules to myself until midnight arrived, greeting my coworkers with a friendly smile, light conversation and horribly unfunny jokes about eggs and how much they exaggerate situations. My watch read 12:01 as I started to help Jeff clean the flat top grill. Fairly easy considering Jeff cleans it every hour and a half. Henrietta's voice came over the walkie-talkies, telling us she needed a replacement battery. She sounded different. Last night she was only 35 years old, and now she sounded like a kind old grandmother. She might be simply trying to be silly, but considering the circumstances of the rules, and the incident involving last night's shift certainly wasn't exactly in supply or demand. Checking my watch made me doubt my surroundings more. As I finished cleaning the grill at 12:10 as I checked the wall clock. My watch, however, said something different. It was off by a minute or two, which isn't too abnormal. Maybe heat does that to watches. While I was gazing at my mechanical watch, the main door in the front opened. The bell jingled and someone walked in. Poking my head up, I saw Henrietta walk to him with a menu. Another thought went through my mind. Why did Julie say Rule 6 involved the door? Rule 6 is keep count of employees, I wondered, getting distracted. New guy, stop fucking around with your daydreaming and go be useful, or I'll have you clean up pebbles in the parking lot, Julia thunderously yelled, snapping me from my thoughts. Sure thing, boss, I stammered sheepishly. Checking my watch, it read 1:37 a.m. Got spare time to do some window cleaning, and might as well enjoy the fresh, cool air while I can. Grabbing some Windex and a clean rag and getting to work, I barely paid attention to the inside of the place. Nearly tripping over a rock, I saw the clock on the wall and went bleach red white. 1:59, the clock read boldly. How could time have passed so rapidly in the short time I was cleaning windows? Someone is pulling a prank on me for sure, right? The thought of a childish prank comforted me as I rapidly put my earbuds in my ears and started to blare loud music into my eardrums. I might be unable to hear someone yelling mere fingernails away from my face, but rules are rules. Guys, got earbuds in on max volume outside, I shouted into the walkie-talkie, barely able to hear myself, let alone anything beyond gunshots and motor collisions. Resuming my task at hand, the fairly faded windows became crystal clear as I wiped them down after a couple sprays of Windex. I smiled at my reflection, seeing an average guy smile back at me. Looking up, the night sky was illuminated by millions of stars, and the sight of the Milky Way galaxy brought awe to my mind. Looking back at the window, a visibly unamused Julie looked at me with a glare, much like a parent's glare to an obnoxious child. Walking inside, Julie was going to keep it as brief as she normally would. New guy, you didn't hear the walkie-talkie, did you? She spoke through thinly hidden fury. No, I was outside cleaning the windows. I saw it was 2 a.m. and remembered the rule where you have to... I spoke softly before being interrupted. You told people that you were, or am I simply pulling that out of my ass? She sheeted through gritted teeth. I did. What was over the... I responded before another interruption. You didn't see anyone in the window, did you? Julie said, quieter than usual. I saw my reflection, I answered sheepishly. Julie eased up suddenly and sighed loudly. Soon after, the walkie-talkie started emanating loud radio static. Despite my instinct to turn it off, something caused me to freeze in place. I remembered what rule I would break if I did, and it was bound to lead to getting fired, or even worse if that happened slowly. I inched my hand back from the walkie-talkie and headed back to the kitchen, where Jeff was sitting on a worn, faded plastic crate, looking at something on his phone. Henrietta perked her head from the far end of the kitchen, curiously peeking out before returning to cleaning out a coffee cleaner. Something was odd, and it concerned the rules. Why can't I go out the back to deal with the trash between 3 and 5 in the morning? Surely the front wasn't taken into consideration. I have to ask Brian about this whenever he's working the graveyard shift. How come Jeff said something about an unspoken rule last shift? Hey Jeff, you said something about an unspoken rule last shift. What is it? I asked inquisitively. If I told you, it wouldn't be an unspoken rule, Jeff jokingly retorted. So I assume anyone outside during 3 and 5 a.m. are left there, I whispered to him. Was there anyone working this shift before me? I mumbled to him, worried about the outcome. I can't talk about that right now. I wouldn't ask anyone else if I were you, Jeff spoke in a tone colder than dry ice. Something tells me it wasn't good, so I checked my watch, 3 a.m. Time must have flown in that conversation. Henrietta offers everyone a cup of coffee, and Jeff starts acting like nothing happened. That's when a faint knocking sound on the back door started, almost like something was scratching at it. Looking around, I saw something very, very strange. Henrietta, her makeup was sloppily applied, and her usual faint lipstick is a bright color. Henrietta tapped on my shoulder, asking what I was looking at. There should be 4 employees, right? I whispered in a fright with the words barely escaping my mouth. Henrietta walks to the back door to the knocking. Not even a second after Henrietta and I reached for our walkie-talkies, the back door was opened and jammed to keep itself from closing. Rule 3 was broken by an imposter. The other side of the door looked exactly the same as it would normally, but the sky was tar black, all except for the moon in the night sky, which was glowing a sinister orange. The door, as I came to realize, was a barrier. Hey guys, thank you for listening to today's creepypasta, and I hope you enjoyed. I do have a podcast called The Murder House Radio Show. Check it out, the link will be in the description below. It is a true crime podcast. But if you did like, comment, subscribe, and share for more. Hit the bell notification when you subscribe and select all to get all notifications whenever I upload. I upload 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday, at least 1 video a day. Now, all the long episodes and full series of creepypastas are on all major podcasting platforms under the name deadly_zone_narrations. There will also be a link for it in the description. Also, go follow all the social media accounts. They are in the description below. I do have a subreddit called Deadly Narrations. The link will be in the description. Also in the description below are the sources to the creepypasta and the music used, so go check those out. Let me know what creepypasta you'd like to hear next, or if you have your own you'd like to hear me narrate. Or if you have a creepypasta series you'd like to hear, send them to me on any of the social medias, in the DMs, or to my email address, which is also in the description. Or leave them in the comments below. Also in the description below is the author's social medias, if they have any listed. But that's it for today's creepypasta. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time in the Deadly Zone, stay deadly and stay spooky.